Sorry, you had mentioned that you're obviously authentic as fuck, which I definitely respect.
Appreciate that.
And you were saying that like obviously there's good times and there's bad times. What do you feel like some of the struggles and the pitfalls that you've encountered throughout this kind of journey, creating this brand and trying to become a rapper as well?
I wouldn't call it pitfalls,
Mm-hmm.
more so just lessons.
Absolutely.
You
Okay,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
That's all it
absolutely. Yeah.
is. I'm coming into this industry not knowing shit. So I have
Mm-hmm.
to take one day at a time, whatever comes to me. There's consequences to everything you do, and consequences are good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you try to get it too quick, and then you get a consequence like, hold on, no, that's not how it works. You waste some money and you waste some time, and then you learn from that and you move on. And I think
Yeah.
my biggest thing is spending a lot of money in this industry, but having to remember that, excuse me,
Yeah. No worries, man.
just going forward that it's gonna pay off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of people get caught up in wanting things too quick. And I'm not that kind of person. Like, I'd rather have a solid foundation and know that if anything happens to me, whatever foundation I built is strong enough to support me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
No, I think that's like the best way to do it. And I feel like even for myself starting this podcast or a good example is like going to the gym and working out.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time my ass went to the gym and worked out. Like you just go to the bicep curls and just do that.
Yeah.
And then like 3 weeks later, you're like, why am I not looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
right now? Right. So it's like it's those moments in your life that are so important. I feel like when you do have those. You have this perspective of how it's going to go, and it's like, oh, it's going to be this great success right away, right out of the gates. I'm going to fucking 1 year from now, I'm going to be again like whatever awards, like million downloads, whatever it is. But then it's like along the journey, it like humbles your ass, where it's like
Fast.
nah, like nah,
It
that's
happens
not.
fast, especially for me in music. Like, I find that because I'm the type of person that I'm really confident, and I could sometimes be a little cocky about what my abilities are.
Mm,
So coming into the music, I thought I was nice because I was able to come up with these things off the bat, off the head, and write it down, and it all sounds cool and all. And then and I put it out there, and everyone's like, "No, that shit's trash."
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
I know
mean?
what you mean.
And
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
go back and
absolutely.
I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh shit, like that was bad." But
Yeah,
the good thing was that confidence made me release it. That confidence made me continue going,
yeah,
and told myself, "Hey, you gotta humble yourself. You
mm,
know, like you don't got it as you think you do.
mm,
And there's people that's working 10 times harder than you at this shit. That's learning the proper way, and you need to learn how to do this shit."
yeah,
And I think once I started understanding that I have to put myself back and calm my ego down, that I could actually, put the time and effort into learning how to have good flows and how to rap and how to put
mm,
everything together. And
yeah,
it was essential, but also there's also a business side of it.
yeah,
So there's the creative side. You gotta learn how to be creative and all that stuff. But then there's the business side where you have to build a brand and you have to be able to build certain relationships and all those
network,
things and
yeah,
keep going. So
yeah,
it's like it's a lot. It's a lot of work for
yeah,
one person,
mm,
and you need a solid support system, or else, hey, if I didn't have a job and I was making enough money to keep doing this somehow,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, oh, hey, someone just came on the street and knocked on my shoulder and said, "Hey, buddy, here's $1 million to pursue your dream." You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And oh, it'll be a breeze, but it's not how it works.
Not how it works. But I feel like through that struggle, though, you find that authentic meaning behind everything.
Yeah, I
Right.
feel so. I feel like just being able to go through everything and see everything for what it is. No regrets, no shame,
Mm-hmm.
just deal with it. And you overcome those things and you fall in love with the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people kind of like, they don't see it for that. They just want the outcome.
Absolutely,
You know
man.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And I think that's why a lot of people will be very unsatisfied for when they get to where they gotta go, because it's not what they thought it was. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
they
yeah,
think,
yeah.
oh, the just being there is gonna make you happy, But it's actually the process of doing something that's greater and larger than you that's going to make you feel more fulfilled rather than getting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, 100%. You couldn't have said that more
Yeah.
beautiful than that. Like holy shit. Like I know just like my own personal experiences of going through that stuff where it's just like on a day-to-day basis, like it does seem like a fucking grind with this stuff sometimes, and it feels like overwhelming, and you're just like, you question yourself at times like, hey, is this really worth it?
Yeah.
For like how much effort I'm putting into, et cetera, et cetera. But then I know what's like really big is that ability to reflect on everything.
Yeah.
And then see like 2 years ago where you were, a year ago, 6 months, like what you were doing and the brand that you're establishing, and you look what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the music that you're putting out is necessarily even better, but you understand that perspective on how to do it better, and you have like a clear vision for your end product then.
Yeah. Essentially, and it all takes planning. You know what I mean? And understanding that you're not going to get to where you want to go tomorrow. Like there's a few books, and I read books because I went to school for business. I had to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I learned that 10,000 hours for mastery.
Yeah.
You put 10,000 hours towards anything, you'll be a master at it.
Yeah.
No matter what. So you got to put in the time. And I don't look at it as that to force myself to say, oh gosh, I got to put 10,000 hours towards this. But it's a matter of understanding that this thing that you want will take time.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to blow up tomorrow. Me, I'm like, 4 or 5 years sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that way I can take in everything. I can build solid foundations, build solid connections, and I can meet a lot of meaningful people, not with the intent of getting over on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people that want it fast, they will step all over you to get to where they gotta go because, they want to get there right now. And those are the people that just fall off.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something beautiful in overcoming failure.
Yeah.
Like I think failure is the best thing that could happen to you in your life because it gives you a whole new perspective on how to live your life and the vision that you do have for your life. And I've always been somebody where your perspective on how you approach a situation dictates how you feel during the situation and the outcome of the situation. Whether it is reading a textbook, and if your mindset is, fuck, I don't give a shit about this, you're not going to learn. But if you're super open-minded and you're willing to like accept the knowledge, and I feel like just having that trait, being open-minded that you said that you have, that's so important during that growth. And I love that you said that you are looking 5 years in the future.
Yeah.
And I know like a question I've asked myself is, okay, well, say you're 35 years old, Matt, and it finally paid off.
Yeah.
Say you're 40 years old and it finally paid off. Would that be worth it for your rest of your life? I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Like,
hell
in
yeah.
a heartbeat, like it's so worth that payoff,
I saw a post today. It was saying, I forgot what his name was. It was a producer. He was producing since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And he got his biggest role as a producer when he was 50. And that was the Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was his biggest hit.
Oh, shit.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
God, yeah.
It happened. It's like looking at even like other guys like Colonel Sanders and the guy that built Walmart. Is it Sam Walton or something like that?
Oh, yeah, Sam Walton.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those guys, they had a vision, they had a dream. It was not like, they got to get there now. It's like they understood it's a process. And sometimes you get caught up in life.
Yeah.
And it'll sidetrack you, but as long as you return to it, that's the most important part. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that, for real.
Absolutely, man.